Hey there, you wonderful listeners. I have a question for you. Do you want to make a podcast? Well, Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily and then distribute it everywhere and even earn money all in one place and for free. How can you beat that? It's called Spotify for Podcasters. And here is how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also available on Spotify. And when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, there are Q&A and poll options available, and those are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free with no catch. Ever since I've discovered Spotify for Podcasters, it has made doing my shows like the Steam Machine Podcast, Yabs Pod, and the JRPG Report much, much easier to do. Like being able to just go on there, record them, upload it, boom, it's done. I don't have to pay for a site service to host or anything like that. It's fantastic. So I highly recommend that you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started today. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Steam Machine Podcast. My name is Dalton and joining me as always is my good buddy.
This is Ryan.
And this week we are diving back into Persona 4 Golden. I sunk quite a bit of time into this week, so I will hopefully be able to cover it in a wealth of everything. I don't know.
Yeah. I finally got into the game a little bit. I think I put in about an hour of play today.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was an actual hour of gameplay, but I was on it for a decent bit. Like I didn't hit the first dungeon yet, but I got a gist of what I guess the main storyline is going to be about. Mystery murders and shit like that.
Yes sir. And it is it's getting quite interesting on my end. I'm not gonna lie. Like this, it is getting very I'm getting attached to the characters now. And the story's picking up, and I'm kind of starting to wonder, like, who's the killer? Where's this going? You know, it's getting really good.
Yeah. That's good.
Have you seen any news this week? Is anything that popped out to you particularly?
I know. I don't know if it was real or not. Was it you who sent me the PlayStation 5 Special Edition price list where if you get the 24 karat gold, the 18 karat rose gold, the fucking platinum edition, that's like $9,000 at launch. Fuck that shit. I don't know if that's real or not. I didn't do any further research or anything like that into it, but as far as other gaming news, I haven't really seen too much. I know they're releasing the complete edition of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World on like the PS4, the Xbox One, Switch, PC, Uplay, Stadia.
I've never played that game, but like Factory Sealed Group and Tadpog Nation all were just like, yes! So apparently I'm missing out.
Like, no, I love Scott Pilgrim. I love it.
I've never even seen the movie.
Novels, the movie. Oh god, it's so good. I one of my scripts is Scott Pilgrim vs. the World signed script by Ramona Flowers there, Mary Elizabeth Winstead. So that's like my prized piece right there.
Hell yeah, that's what's up.
But I'm probably gonna pick up that game because I fucking love Scott Pilgrim. I really do. That game's great. It's side-scrolling brawler almost.
Yeah, it's a beat 'em up, right? Kind of like Streets of Rage.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure.
That's what's up. I saw they released the specs, the recommended specs and the minimal specs for Serious Sam 4. And
what do we got?
It looked pretty intense. I know the recommended is you have 16 gigabytes of video RAM.
I don't think my laptop's gonna be able to handle that shit.
I don't even know if my computer has 16 gigabytes of video RAM. I think I might have 16. but I don't
But
have anything higher than that.
do they have a release date for that yet, or?
Not that I've seen. Not that I've seen. I can check
Well,
really quick.
hopefully that can come after tax time when I build my PC.
Set for release in September of 2020.
Oh shit! So it's dropping this month. Fuck.
So it says. Oh man, when I first Googled it though, it's Google says Serious Sam 4 release date 2015. It's like no, it's not.
No, no, it's not.
Um, we got some 5-star ratings on iTunes, man. We are now up to 3.
Nice, nice.
Yes, and one we actually got a comment
Oh,
from our buddy
big
Santos.
money. We're
Yeah.
like 0.0000001% of the way to monetizing.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, we're getting there. So
San-
we actually had a comment then, huh?
yeah. Santos left a comment. He said, "Straight up, great podcast that's straight to the game. I recommend giving it a listen. 5 stars." So that's what's up. And then the other two didn't leave comments. They just gave us 5 stars. But in any case, we really appreciate it. And if you want to get your review read out, leave us a comment when you give us a 5-star review, and we will read it out on the show. Or if you give us a 4-star, 3-star, if you want to shit all over us, we'll read them. Let's do that.
1 star. Both of these guys are fucking jerk offs. If I could give them 0 stars, I would. Fuck them both.
1 star. It was shit.
Yeah.
But
They hate on Corpse Party Blood Drive. Fuck these guys. 0.5 star.
speaking of Mr. Santos Lopez, he wrote in, chiming in on mine and yours discussion last week about the physical versus digital.
Yeah.
And here's what he had to say. He said, "Hey guys, I had to chime in about the physical versus digital debate you two had. While I understand Ryan's point about digital games being more convenient and physical games will eventually stop working, at least you own a physical game. When you buy digital, all you have is the right to download and play the game, but you have no value. You can't sell it. I think many older gamers want a product for their money. One counter is if both of you bought Madden 21, one person gets digital, the other gets a physical copy. And once you realize that game is an absolute hot piece of garbage, at least the person who has the physical copy can sell it and recover something. I'm assuming $5. I think it will end up like music and movies. There will always be a niche for physical copies. Also, think about this. If one day Steam or GOG ever closed down, what would happen to your games and could you transfer them all? Enjoy the show. I left you a 5-star rating."
I get what he's saying, but you can sell digital copies. People sell like WoW accounts. People sell fucking Steam accounts and shit all the time.
Well,
Like
but technically that's
there
not
is.
allowed.
I mean,
I'm just saying it's technically not
it,
allowed.
it 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 happens, and once the digital copy, like once the digital like revolution that the video game industry is currently going through, and there's going to be only a super limited number of physical copies, there people will find a way around it, and they will find a way to be able to like, hey, we see you got a bunch of old games you haven't touched on your fucking PlayStation account for a while. How about you trade these in for such and such percent off this new release? That sort of thing. Like,
I don't think that'll happen though because there's no that would benefit the company none because they can't do anything with those digital copies. Like that license is to you.
yes, it's still taking a loss, but like you're like with the physical copies, those publishers and those things aren't seeing any revenue from that either. That's all third party sellers.
Yeah, but even
Like,
even third-party sellers wouldn't get anything from a digital copy though, unless it was a key that had not been activated.
I fair enough. Like, but
There are key seller sites now. I will say that
yeah,
there are sites that you
yeah,
can go and get Steam keys and
yeah.
things for super cheap. But
Like, I get you all are going with like the physical copies and shit, but shit is literally dying right before our eyes. It's gonna be a matter of years before there's going to be no physical copies left.
yeah, but I mean,
But
then you also have like the Super Nintendo scene and all of those guys, and they do repro carts where they take the ROMs of them and they print their own cartridges of it so they can play it in
yeah,
original hardware.
I mean, yeah, all the super old classics like the cartridges and shit that will never die. I mean, you can get emulated in like digital versions of that shit, especially like what they did with the classics and stuff, where all the ROMs are preloaded or whatever. But as far as like new releases and stuff, these games are going to be so massive that it's going to be really hard for them to keep up with like the kind of technology to fit them on disk space. Like if they don't get rid of like disks and stuff, you're going to start seeing games show up on like USB thumb drives. Like instead of discs.
or we'll be going
Like,
back to multiple discs like it was. It'll come full circle.
yeah, for sure. And that's where digital is easier and better for. Like, you can just download that one massive file, like fucking all these Call of Duty updates people are fucking downloading.
Yeah,
Like,
but then that also requires the console or whoever has the PC to upgrade their memory. Like, I know, like on my computer, for example,
yeah,
I have two hard drives. One's a
I
terabyte,
mean,
or I'm sorry, yeah, one's a terabyte, and one's 3 terabyte, and I'm
yeah.
running out of room, dog.
Yeah, and that's you buying 900 games. Like,
Yeah,
that's all to the player. That has nothing to do with the developers or anything like that. If you want to be a serious hardcore gamer and have that many games and dedicate that much time to games, you better have the fucking hardware to be able to handle it. Like,
and I
get that
do.
get that 20 terabyte fucking hard drive. Like, go big or go, like, don't do it at all. Like,
Nah, fuck that,
I
dog. I'm
picked up
balling on a
that
budget.
I, I fair enough, but that budget eventually at one point will get you to be like, what game can I really just get rid of for now to make space for a new one?
Well,
You
we
got 4 terabytes and you're running out of room already. Like, I got 4 terabytes and I've barely cracked mine yet.
Yeah, well, that's because I have everything already installed and ready to go on mine. Whereas, and then
Fair enough.
I delete them as we play them. Like as soon as I was
Yeah.
done with Fallout 4, gone. Like
Yeah, no, I do that too. I do that too.
corpse party, get the
But
fuck out of here.
yeah, for sure. For sure. But we're the physical collections are good for collectors and people hoping to have like resale value 10, 15, 20 years from now, because we all know GameStop gives you fucking pennies on the dollar for fucking resales, like,
Yeah,
and shit like that. So there's really, even if there is a market for it today, there really isn't a market for it today unless you have an old game that is in high demand and a hard copy to find.
yeah.
Like some 64 titles still in original packaging and shit.
My Sega Master System copy of Phantasy Star back here.
Yeah.
It's worth like $80, something like that.
Yeah. That's a fair price, but it's still not like,
Oh no, it's not
it's
Earthbound.
how old, yeah, how old is that game? Like, what year did that
Uh,
come out?
80s, sometime in the 80s.
80. Yeah, like, and $80 for a game that's 30 years old, 30 plus years old. I mean, that's not bad. Like,
No, it's just
video games are such a niche market. They don't hold a lot of resale value like some other things. Like, I have a $500 X-Men action figure still mint in box. Like, and it's only going to go up in value as they put out more material, especially when Disney launches the X-Men movies and shit.
yeah.
But it really sucks that video games are that kind of market. There isn't really one for it other than niche gamers who are really dedicated to
That's a
the
pretty
industry.
It's a pretty big niche, bro. Like Comic Cons and stuff started as game trades. Like, so I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, you got your gaming conventions. I wouldn't necessarily say it was Comic Con, but you have like the E3 and all those other cons. Like,
Dragon
but
Con. There's
yeah,
one up in Portland that I know that Metal Jesus and all those guys always Portland Retro Gaming Con. That's what it's called.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, which sounds really cool. I would love to go there and just look around at all the stuff
yeah,
because
yeah.
he's done
But
like camera walkthroughs of it, man. And like some of the vendors just they'll have these old systems that are from like the 70s and 80s and shit that you're just like, oh, I've never even heard of, and you get to check them out and like see how games play on them and stuff, man. It's
for
cool.
sure,
It's cool to
like,
dive into
you'd be
history.
surprised what you can see.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So
But again, it's sad that we're literally watching the death of physical copies of games as the consoles progress, evolve, and everything.
well, physical copies died on PC a long ass time ago,
Yeah,
for
for
the
sure.
most part. I
For
know
sure.
there's still some games that you can get. I want to start collecting old big box PC games only because they came with so much cool stuff. Like,
Yeah.
and you can still find them in the streets. You know what I'm saying? They're not all super duper fucking expensive. There are some that are, but a lot of the old ones, even if you're just going for looks and stuff, like you can go to a Goodwill and find some for like $5-10. You
Yeah, no, like, that's something that I'll probably glance at when I go thrifting and stuff. It's like, hey, look at that. It's still in box. It's probably worth absolutely nothing now, but you never know 40 years from now.
know? Yeah. See, and see,
Right.
to me, it's just cool to have. like whether I resell it or not. Like a lot of those old computer RPGs would come with maps and stuff in them, but they were made of cloth.
Yeah,
They were cloth maps, which
that's cool.
I find to be awesome.
See, that's what's gonna like happen again, especially like you're saying with PC pretty much eliminating physical copies within recent memory and shit like that. Even with the consoles, they're gonna start releasing limited runs of physical copies. They're gonna be so jacked up in price that they're gonna have to give things away, like cloth maps or certain collectibles. Like I don't know what edition of the Final Fantasy VII remake I picked up, but mine came with like collector cards and some other little memorabilia shit as well. And I'm like, that's cool. Like, but
Yeah. Yeah, the super expensive one was like I think almost $300, and it came with a cloud statue or something, but
yeah,
it was
fuck
some
that.
ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, man. So I just wanted to bring that up. I told Santos that I would read that on the air.
yeah. He'll
So
probably have a he'll probably have another comment. Like,
yeah. Well, hey,
just
we'll keep this conversation
put it
going.
put him on the Discord server. We'll go at it.
Yeah, I'll let y'all hash it out. I'll stand in the middle like, now Skeeter, he ain't hurting nobody, and then I'll look at you and be like, now Skeeter, he ain't hurting no. But let's go ahead and dive into some Persona 4. So last week I touched on that you
I
are.
got some technical difficulties on my end. It seems my internet is laggy like a
Yeah,
motherfucker today.
it
You
happens.
keep freezing on me, and your audio keeps cutting out. It's probably great on your end today, but
Yeah,
for
it's
some
fun.
reason my internet's been so shitty today.
You get real still for a second, and then
Yeah,
you picks up. It's all good.
yeah,
It's all good.
yeah.
Um, so I think I touched on last week that you as the protagonist, you come into Inaba, your uncle Dojima is taking care of you, and his niece, or I'm sorry, his daughter Nanako, your niece
Nanako.
Nanako, such a nice like. For her dad to be such an asshole sometimes, like she's just such a little
I don't.
sweetie.
From the little bit I played, I don't know how he progresses throughout the story, but he doesn't seem like an asshole. He just seems like an overworked detective, like all cops. Like, but
I mean, yeah, that's what I call an asshole. But either way,
like, fuck this guy. Like,
he,
yeah.
I'm sure he redeems himself eventually. I think I've got my social rank with him up to
If
5 or 6. So,
convince him to quit the police force, then he'll be a good guy.
so you go to school and you get introduced to your classmates and all that. That's where you meet Mr. Maruoko. Maruoko. I'm gonna call him Mr. Douchebag because he is. I've had some fucked up teachers in my life, dude. But this guy takes the cake.
Yeah.
He's like, quiet down, all you little shitheads. This new kid's here, and you better not be an asshole, kid, because if so, then I'm gonna make your life a miserable fucking hell. And like,
He straight up calls you a loser too.
yeah, he calls you a loser. And you
What
could,
one of the first responses, like interaction responses you can do is like, "Did you just call me a loser?" Like talk back to him. That's the one I selected, and it's like your courage has gone up a point. Like,
yeah, man, fuck that guy. Fuck that
yeah,
guy.
fuck that guy for sure.
Um, on the way to school, this dude goes sailing by you on his bike, and then you hear a bang, and then you see him holding his nuts as you go walking by, and he is just like,
Yep.
ah! And you later find out that this is going to be your buddy Yosuke. But I think you see him
Yeah.
crash his bike like 2 or 3 times. Like one time he's like in a trash
Yeah,
can.
I've seen it twice, but he has been hit in the balls 3 times already. And he even calls one of them a crit hit to the nads. Like it's an actual like game dialogue, and it's like, oh, that's a critical hit to the nads as he's like hunched over, cradling his shit.
Critical hit. I've taken plenty of those in D&D and in real life shit.
A crit hit to the nads, yeah.
Like side story, I remember playing paintball with a few buddies one time, and
Oof, no.
Brendan, I was walking around, and I just come out from around a tree and turned, and he had a burst shotgun, and he hit me with 3 or 4 paintballs right in the balls, and I hit the ground and was just screaming. And
That's such a dick move. Like,
did he check on me? Nah, he raised his mask like Dalton's out, kept running. I was like, fucker.
that's such a dick move. Like, I would have fucking popped him in the back of the head execution style after the game for that shit. Like, you shoot me in the balls not once but like 4 times with your burst shot. Like, you deserve this shit.
And I remember I made a mistake one night. I think it was that same night later on. We were playing at dark, and my mask fogged up, and I lifted it up to get air, and at the same time got shot in the cheek.
Ugh,
And and all of a sudden, but I will give Jason credit. All of a sudden, I heard, "Oh my God, are you all right? I'm so sorry. You lifted it up as I pulled the trigger. Oh my God, I'm so sorry." He comes running out of the woods.
rough.
Oh yeah, it was wild, man. Wild days back then. So, anyways, you and Yosuke chatting it up, and I believe through him you meet Chie. You guys are in
Yeah,
class together.
yeah. Chie actually, before you get like formally introduced through Yusuke, Chie offers up the empty seat next to her as your seat for homeroom.
That's right, 'cause she's all grilling you about who are you.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right. That's right.
And then
So
you got what's her name, Yukiko, right in front of her. And
Yukiko,
yeah,
who I'm gonna go ahead and throw out there, probably gonna be my dude's girlfriend because I've already got her to social rank like 7, going on 8, and I think the next one is when she tells you that she loves you, and
yeah.
you can have the choice of saying like I love you too, or you can say like I love you too as a friend.
Sorry, bro. I love you like a sister.
It's
Where's
like,
that kanji dude?
I was gonna
Bro?
say you're pretty and all, but where's kanji?
Yeah.
uh,
If I get further into gameplay, I'm probably gonna do something like that. Like,
I think you can. I think you can romance kanji. I know in 5 you can romance Yosuke or Yusuke, not Yosuke, Yusuke. Uh, so
no.
once you get and you meet all of them, Chie starts talking about this rumor of the Midnight Channel. And apparently it is if you, on a rainy night at midnight, look into a TV that's turned off, you will see the silhouette of your one true love. Sounds,
We were making jokes on this earlier. It's like,
yeah.
you're peering into the TV, and the clock strikes midnight, and the shape starts forming, and it's that of your right hand.
Yeah. We've been bound by fate to masturbate.
That would be a wild plot twist of the game. Like,
Right?
your soulmate is just yourself, destined to walk alone. Like,
Or like at the end, it's just like this is all just taking place in your dude's mind, and he's in an insane asylum. He's a chronic masturbator. He's just fucking beating his dick, thinking about all these people getting murdered and shit. And they're like,
oh
yeah,
my
that's
God,
why he's in here.
that's so fucked up. That's so fucked up.
Well,
That would be. Oh my God. All right. So yeah, the midnight channel.
so he sees a.
That shit was that shit was weird. That concept kind of fucked with me. Like,
It's wild, right?
especially when he starts interacting with the TV. Like,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I know you're so much further than I am into this game. I literally just started it, and that whole shit with the TV kind of fucked with me. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's one of those things like watching Poltergeist as a child. Like, I'm not about. I'm not about that shit. Like, nope.
Yeah, dude. So you fuck with the TV, like you put your hand on it and it goes in, and then your dude like sticks his head in there, cause why not? You know, if you can
Yeah,
stick
why
your hand
not?
in it, why not stick your head in it?
Yeah.
So you end up being like, what the fuck? And you think you just dreamed it or whatever. So, but you do see a silhouette on the TV. Well, after the rain, there's fog. And of course, Yosuke is like, "Did you see? Oh, I couldn't tell who it was. I wonder who she is. I wonder who my soulmate's gonna be." Blah 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 blah. Well, then some bitch turns up dead, like we talked about in the first episode. And I know we've already
Yeah.
touched on this, so I'm just gonna breeze over.
I forget the name of the character.
It was the reporter. I do not remember her name.
Yeah, it's a reporter. I don't remember the name.
Was it Yamano? Was it?
It was something like
I
that.
think it was like Miss Yamano or something. But she gets killed, and they're like, "Oh man, that's what fuck. This is a small town. Like that shit doesn't happen here. What the hell?"
Yeah.
And then you meet the girl who found her, like we talked about last week too. Like I said, I'm just gonna brush over this quickly because I know we already touched on this part.
Yeah.
You talk to her a bit, and then her name is Saki, by the way. Her name is Saki, and she ends up dead.
Ugh, brutal.
And
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
No, no, sorry.
You're gonna be.
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
no,
motherfucker, you
yeah,
picked the wrong episode to be on.
yeah, no, for sure, for sure. But
Yeah, Saki. You see her silhouette on the TV, but you kind of can't really make out that it's her, but you're pretty sure it is.
yeah,
And then she ends up dead as well. So Chie, you guys are like looking at a TV, and Junez and Chie and Yosuke are standing there, and your dude just like sticks his hand up to the TV, and his hand goes in, and then he sticks his head in, and Chie and Yosuke are both like, "What the fuck?"
yeah, they're both losing their shit, and Yusuke is like about to piss his pants and everything.
Oh,
And
yeah, that's right. And then this
yeah,
is where Chie doesn't fall in, right?
all three of you fall in, and this is where you meet Teddy for the first time.
Oh, Teddy. I love Teddy.
Teddy.
I loved Teddy. Now I'm not so sure about him at the moment, but uh, he's great, man. I love his berry jokes where he's like, "I'm a very sad bear," and things like that.
Oh
Like,
my god,
I love it. I love it. It's dad jokes all day.
that makes me a sad panda.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. So to kind of just sum up this whole beginning part, the TV world is where this weird shit's going on, and Teddy informs you that like it's been peaceful there. He's the only one there until recently.
yeah.
People have been coming and disturbing the shadows inside.
Somebody's been throwing people into that realm or plane or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Teddy doesn't seem too happy about it. He's like, shit's not right. Like,
Yeah, he's like, I want to be alone here.
yeah, for sure. And then like, I don't know if that's because he has like an autoerotic asphyxiation problem or something. Because one of the rooms you encounter has like a silk noose hanging from the ceiling, fucking ripped up posters of the politician's wife, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
you want me to explain that to you?
Yeah, let's go.
That room? Okay.
Explain it to our viewers and me.
I will
'Cause
explain
I'm
it
so
to
far
you.
behind. Yeah,
Okay, so basically, the killer throws the people in here, and then they appear
yeah,
on the Midnight Channel. And if there's no one to save them, then I believe it's their inner self kills them, or the killer goes in and kills them. That I haven't figured out yet. But
yeah,
you don't save the first two people. Like that's how you figure out what's going on. But that room that you find is the room that the first lady was in. Like
yeah,
she was the uh, the wife of the dude who was cheating on her with the other lady.
yeah.
Or I'm sorry. The reporter was
Yeah, it
banging
was
a
the
married dude.
reporter.
Yeah, a reporter was
Yeah,
banging a married dude. So it was pictures
yeah,
of that dude's wife all over that was torn up and things like that. Well, eventually you guys are in there, and Yosuke encounters his shadow self, and his shadow self is basically like, your shadow self is what you hide from other people, like the side of you don't show.
yeah.
So you
It's almost like your subconscious.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah, yeah,
Yosuke is like, yo, people don't like you because your parents brought Junes here, and people think that ruined a lot of small businesses, and like people make fun of you behind your back, and they think you're annoying, and no one likes you.
oh my god.
And
So it's like a small town fighting Walmart.
yeah,
I
yeah,
just put that. I just realized that the Juness is
it's
Walmart,
totally
and it's killing the town.
everyday garasu es Junesu. Anyway, that was my attempt at doing that in Japanese. Uh, you have to the shadow is just you have to admit that it is part of you. And it
Yeah,
seems like everybody that's come across it so far has been like, "You're not me," and then that makes the shadow freak out and turn into a big thing that you have to fight. And then once you beat it, the person's usually like, "All right, I accept that you are part of me," and then the shadow becomes their persona.
yeah,
You go through this with Yosuke. You go through this with Chie. Chie's is like, you like having Yukiko around because she needs you, and she's so pretty that it makes you basically get off that she needs you around, that she relies on you for support. And Chie's like, I would never feel like that. Blah, 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 blah. You're not me, and then you have to do the fight.
yeah.
And then of course, you and Yosuke are like, don't say it, and then they say it. And then later on, when Chie's with you guys, and another person's doing it, they're like, "Don't say it." It just keeps going where everybody's like, "Don't say it," and then people say it anyway. You're not me.
God.
So you guys are talking about these victims and what you saw on the Midnight Channel and how you swear that was Saki on there, and Yukiko does not come to school. And Chie starts flipping out and calls her, and she answers, and everything's alright. So y'all go home that night. And you watch the Midnight Channel, and who's on there? But it's Yukiko. Because she had...
I haven't got this far yet, so I know this is still pretty early in the game, but...
Yeah, this is the first major dungeon.
Okay, so this is the first dungeon. I was wondering when I was going to come across that.
Yeah,
I was going to come across that.
I'll call it the TV dungeon.
Yeah.
Because you're inside, inside the TV. So
this is the first dungeon, right?
So Yukiko is basically like, well, you see her silhouette on the TV the first night, and that's when everybody's freaking out, and you call her and all that. So the second night, it's actually her on there, and she's talking about wanting to find her Prince Charming to whisk her away. Who wants to score? That kind of thing. And yeah, see, now you get the Teddy joke later on. So you guys are like, oh shit, we got to go in there, we got to save her. So that's what your first thing is you go in, and Teddy uses his nose, and he sniffs out where she's at, and you, Chie, and Yosuke go to save her. And her shadow self is basically just like saying that she wants to leave this small town. She doesn't want to be here. She doesn't want to inherit her parents' inn. She just wishes that a Prince Charming would come and whisk her away to somewhere else.
Yeah.
And you end up having to fight her shadow, of course, and you take care of that, and she accepts that. So her character building after this dungeon is over and everything that I've been hanging out with her in game is that she wants to be more independent. She doesn't want to inherit her parents' inn. She wants to move out of town and go make a life for herself and kind of take care of herself, which I admire that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
In between that, there is a lot of character building. Like you're building up your social links, which is basically everybody that's in your party, and there's some other people that you meet like Dojima and Nanako. You have social links, and each social link is related to a type of persona. Like I think Dojima's is linked to the Hierophant. Teddy's is linked to the Star. And so basically what it is when you fuse personas. So say I've got my rank with Yukiko at 7. I don't remember what sub thing. I don't know what kind of type her persona is right off the hand. But if I were to fuse that type of persona, I would get an experience bonus of level 7 experience bonus to make it higher level. And that helps out because say you're level, like I'm level 43. So say I make a level 43 persona, but I have that level 7 experience bonus. I can make a persona, when it comes out, it'll be higher than level 43. And that's the only way that you can get persona that are higher than your level.
Okay.
Because
that makes sense.
If it's higher than your level, Igor's like, this one is too powerful for you. Get stronger.
Yeah.
Or actually, he doesn't talk like that in this game. He talks more like this. Like, it's very strange.
Yeah, he talks like a henchman.
My name is Igor. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So you save Yukiko, you do your hanging out. You have your choice. Like I've done some fishing. I've done some bug catching. There's I didn't
even know that was part of the game.
Yeah,
I'd probably spend all my time doing that.
You can catch bugs. It's like a short little thing. You just have to time a net swing, and you catch a couple, and then you can take those bugs and.
So it's like Animal Crossing.
Sort of on a lighter scale. It's nowhere, like you can't run around and catch all the bugs you want. It's just like an event thing that happens. But you take those, and you can either at nighttime go to this one place where there's this like old fat Asian lady who runs a store during the day, and at night she dresses up like I don't even know how to describe it. I want to say like a drag queen, but she's a female, so I don't know if that is, but that style of get up, like heavy makeup, very extravagant dress, hair all done up, and she turns her restaurant into a bar. Well, you can go in there and trade bugs for breadcrumbs, and you can fish with breadcrumbs. Oh, you can fish with the bugs too. It just depends on what kind of fish you want to catch.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I know, it's ridiculous. But there are jobs that you can get. You can fold envelopes at your table in your room, or you can get a job as like a babysitter for a caretaking place, which I think that there is a
This game gets pretty in depth with like side shit then. Like,
yeah, it's all about the slice of life
and
stuff, man.
all these give you experience as well.
Yeah, they build up your stats, like your courage or your not resilience, your courage, your expression, that kind of stuff. And it is very very useful because there are certain times like that you want to say something. Like there's been a few different times I wanted to say something to Yukiko, and it's like you don't have the courage to say that, and it's like well shit. So I've been working on that, and in fact, there's a good way to work on it when it's raining. The ramen place in the shopping district says they have a thing for 3,000 yen that you can go and try to eat this like endless beef bowl or whatever it's called,
Yeah.
and it gives you a boost to your understanding, your courage, and your expression, and I think your knowledge, all at once. It's a good way to just get a little small boost on that. So after you do this for a while, this dude appears on TV, and he seems like a real rough, tough asshole named Kanji Tatsumi, and he ends up being on the Midnight Channel, and you guys are like, oh fuck. So you have to tail him, and you're trying to. So now you know who it is before they're in the TV. So you try to stake him out and try to like see how he's doing, and yeah, he ends up seeing you guys, and he catches Yosuke and Chie, and they're like, well, you can choose who to go with, but I chose to go with Yukiko, so I sent Yosuke and Chie, and they got busted, and Yosuke tried to make it seem like they were just, we're just two lovebirds out here doing lovebird things, and it didn't work, and
Yeah.
Kanji chases him, and then he sees you guys outside of his mom's textile place, so he chases y'all away again. So he ends up getting kidnapped that night and put into the TV. But not before you see him talking to this mysterious boy, uh, which that'll come into play later. So Kanji gets tossed into the TV.
It's not the same one that was trying to talk to Yukiko at the very beginning of the game, is it?
That's a possibility. It when you were watching me play earlier, it was the detective kid.
Oh,
I can't remember his name right off then.
if it's like the
I think
the
it's
the
Naoto.
the Padawan to Dojima, at the very beginning of the game, it didn't give him a name. It just said
Oh
young detective.
no, that's Adachi. No, not him.
Okay.
That's Adachi. No, yeah,
Okay.
not him.
Okay. So
Um,
I haven't got that far yet. So.
okay, so Kanji's talking to this kid, and then that night on the Midnight Channel, you guys watch it, and it comes on, and it's like all steamy, and you just hear like, "Ooh, hell!" Oh, and by the way, Kanji's like he's 15 years old, but he's got a big ass tattoo of skull and crossbones on his arm. He's got a big ass scar by his eye. Like he's the most 35-year-old looking 15-year-old I've ever seen in my entire life. And he
He
and
kicks punk rock.
he's got a real tough voice like this, and he kicks bikers' asses, like literally, like that. He's on TV because he kicked a bunch of bikers' asses. Like
No.
he has been single-handedly handling biker gangs and shit. So you see him on the Midnight Channel, and he's like, "Hello, my name is Kanji Tatsumi, and I'm here looking for a big, strong man to help me out with all this." And you're like, "Whoa, what? All right, I get the tough guy persona now. Like, I get it."
No.
So you end up going in, and it's a bathhouse. You're running through like 7 levels of a bathhouse to try to find him. And once you get up with him, Kanji's in there in the room with his shadow self, and basically the shadow self is telling Kanji
So
like, "Oh, go ahead."
is this like the first true dungeon you come across with like multiple levels and everything like that? Is
N-
that how the dungeons are built? Like
yes,
level
but
by level?
Yukiko's is the first one.
Okay.
That's really deep. I mean, you have to go find Chie too, but it's like
Yeah.
Chie is like the introduction tutorial almost.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah, Yukiko's is the first one where you have to go through I think like 5 or 6 levels,
Okay.
and I think
So
they get
the
slightly
dungeons
bigger
are
every time.
okay. So they're multi-level dungeons,
Yes,
and then like
you were always
are
running
are they
around.
like a straight like point A to point B thing, or are they kind of built like mazes with like dead ends and shit like that?
They are
Like
built like mazes with dead ends, and they are also, I believe they are randomly generated. So like
oh shit.
whenever you were going into level. Like when you like if you're in the palace and you go up and down floors, they'll stay the same. But if you leave the palace and come back, I believe they change. But
That's cool.
you were constantly looking for stairs that go up.
Okay.
Like that's what you want to find, the stairs, because you're trying to get to whatever the highest level of the place is, because that's where your boss battle is going to be.
Yeah.
And you get there, and Kanji's shadow self is like, you know that I exist within you. I have, girls scare you. You're much more comfortable around dudes. Like girls make you nervous, and they don't take you seriously, and all this kind of stuff. And Kanji's, of course, trying to deny it. And he's like, "You're not me," and everybody's like, "No," and then, battle. And you have to beat him, and then Kanji ends up accepting it. Which this is when I started to sour on Yosuke, because Yosuke from this point on seems super worried about Kanji being gay, and I don't get it.
Yeah, the little bit I watched you play earlier today, we were kind of picking up on that, and I did some googling on it and shit. Like, I guess it's left up to the interpretation of the player. Like
Gold dust.
the creators, specifically, they don't answer the question. It's like, is Kanji gay? Their response is, it doesn't matter. Like,
It really doesn't.
so what if he is? So what if he isn't? Like. But yeah, I could see souring on Yosuke.
Yeah,
If
Yosuke.
he's all about like poking at that.
But that line that you saw when I was playing earlier was phenomenal. When spoilers,
Oh, so
apparently
you want
Teddy,
me to beat the shit out of you?
yeah,
Right.
apparently Teddy like turns into a human at one point, and Yosuke asks Kanji, "Hey man, what do you think of Teddy?" In front of the whole group, and Kanji's like, "What's that supposed to mean?" And he's like, "Well, I just wanted to know if he was your type." And Kanji goes, "Oh, so what you're saying is, Kanji, will you please beat the shit out of me?"
Yes, that was great. That was fucking great.
Which sends Yukiko into one of her trademark laughing fits.
Laughing fit. Yeah, I saw
Like,
that. That was fantastic. That was great.
I'm really enjoying this game so far, man. I don't know if you can like hear me the way I'm talking about it and stuff, but it's like I'm really getting attached.
I was watching. Yeah, I was watching you play it earlier, and you were into it. Like I've been watching you play Wild Fit. You're not into like that same level of attentiveness that you are playing Persona 4.
Yeah, dude.
Sure.
There's
Like,
something about a good JRPG that just hooks me, and when the story's good, I am like in it to win it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure if I gave this game some more time and got into it further, I could probably get hooked by the storyline. Like a good murder mystery is not a bad plot point for a game. Like it could catch my attention, but I gotta give it more time. Like I have yet to come across even the first dungeon. I don't know what style of like battle system and shit this is going to do or what to even do.
Yeah, that's all good though, man.
Shit, we're 5.5 days away from due date on baby Theo, so you know where all my time's going. Like,
yeah, and speaking of that, James, if you're listening, buddy, I might be bugging you next weekend because I might need somebody to come on here and do this with me. This possibility,
yeah,
or it might just be me on here.
Yeah, a guest co-host or something for part 3.
Just
part
to,
4,
I know he's got,
part it is.
I know he's got knowledge of this game and stuff. So, at least if you aren't able to be here, I can at least fill it with,
Yeah.
something. And so we're about up to the point. Like I'm trying to be super. I know I'm giving spoilers, but I'm trying not to give too many spoilers because this game's just so damn good.
Yeah.
But I'm up to the next dungeon, and that I have beaten this one, and I haven't gotten past much further after it. There is a commercial, or I'm sorry, there's a news segment on TV talking about there's this Japanese idol, this pop idol type person, and she is taking a break from showbiz, and she is coming to Inaba, which is her hometown. Her grandmother runs the tofu shop.
No.
And her name is Rise Kujikawa. And when I first saw her name, I was like, her name's Rise? That's cool. But it's Rise. And I'm like, oh, well, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I like that pronunciation a lot.
Yeah.
you come across
I
her.
think I watched you do this dungeon, right? This was
Yeah. Yes, you
the
did.
strip club. Yeah.
Yeah. So when she appears on the TV, she's like, "I'm gonna bear it all," and all this type of stuff, and you're like, "Oh man!" And you hear this roar of the crowd, and you figure out as you're going along, like you start hearing this crowd as you're going through, and it's all of the people who are watching the Midnight Channel.
Oh shit.
And you're like, "Oh fuck." Uh, so you have to run through this strip club, and you actually come upon a spot where you fight a boss, and it told me like I beat it but it wasn't the final boss. And Teddy was like, "Let's just go home for now." So I was like, "Oh, I guess I should just go home for now." So
Fucking petty.
I went back. I spent some more time with Nanako and Yukiko and Dojima and got those up a little bit. I did some side quests. There were some side quests around. I joined at one point before this. I joined the drama club, and I'm doing like acting and stuff. And one of the social links in there, Yumi, she's really cool. Her story is like she starts getting hard up because her dad's in the hospital, but her dad had left them when she was real young. So her mom had called the school to tell her that her mom had fainted and was at the hospital. So Yumi would show up because she knew if she told her that her dad fainted and was on his deathbed that she wouldn't have come because she hates him.
Yeah.
It's rough, man. It's deep. But I'm really attached to that, so I'm hoping to get that to the highest social link because when you finish their social links, like that's basically wrapping up that character's little side story that fills you in on them.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
where I'm at with Nanako and Dojima, I'm just now starting to learn about Nanako's mom died in an accident, and that Dojima's kind of struggling with being a single father and a detective, and it's interesting, man. I'm interested to see where that's gonna go. But back to the dungeon, you get to the very end. I think this one was 10 floors tall, and
Yeah. I think it was 10 floors.
and you get to the 11th floor, and that was where the boss was at, or it was the 10th floor. It was the boss was at. It was one of the two. And you save Rise, and her shadow self is basically just being a hoe, like saying that like she's gonna bear it for everybody, and she's gonna shake it, and she's gonna shake this idol thing, and she's gonna be a sex symbol and all this type of stuff. And it's like, wow, dog,
She's
you're
gonna start a
younger than
OnlyFans.
me. Like she calls you senpai, so she is, you're uh, younger.
Yeah.
I can't think of the word. I was gonna say you're senior, but that's not. You are her senior.
Yeah.
And you save her, and through saving her, Teddy deflates. Teddy like powers up like Goku. Like literally, he just starts glowing this golden aura, and then just charges at the enemy and hits it and kills the enemy, but then in turn flattens himself. So then you go back to the beginning, and he's like, "I'm gonna work out, and I'm gonna become a strong bear. You'll see." And he just starts doing sit-ups, like little
Jesus
flat ass, and he
Christ.
just starts doing sit-ups, and he's like, "I'm gonna make you proud, Sensei." And you get another rank up with him. I think I'm at rank 2 with Teddy so far. Might be rank 3 right now. So you guys go to Junes because a couple days later, you saved Rise, so obviously no one should die. But
Yeah.
anime cutscene, which tells me, oh, somebody did die because there's a cutscene. And who is it hanging? Mr. Morooko.
Oh, that fucking douchebag.
Mr. Douchebag is dead, and I cheered my teeth.
Huh.
I went, yeah!
Of course you did.
Because fuck that guy.
Yeah.
So I haven't figured out what happened with him yet. That's where I'm at. Is I don't know why he's dead. I don't know who killed him. But the creepy little kid who was talking to Kanji is an investigator from a different precinct that's higher up than Dojima's. And he comes up to your table where all y'all are hanging out, and he basically knows what's going on.
Yeah.
He's like, this little game you guys are playing, you aren't going to win this game. And they're all like, well, this isn't a game to us. Why would you think it's a game? Yada, yada, yada. And he's like, you need to leave this to the police and back off. So I'm starting to get skeptical about him. But I'm going to throw this out there. I don't know. I refuse to spoil anything about this game for myself. But my feeling from playing Persona 5, Adachi, that young policeman that helps out Dojima, the one you were asking me about, I think that he's got something to do with the murders.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to look it up. I don't want to know. But I think he's got something to do with the murders. Because in Persona 5, one of the cop dudes, Akechi, he ends up being a bad guy. So I just have that feeling. He might not be the murderer, but I think he is a bad guy of some sort. I get a weird feeling about him.
Yeah.
But I mean, shit. Do you have any like comments on? I know you saw some of the art style and the battle and heard some of the music. Like, you got any comments on those or?
The I know you gush about the soundtrack and stuff all the time, and some of the stuff is catchy. From what I've played, and I think a little bit of what I heard, I've only can remember like one song off the top of my head. I don't pay enough attention to it, so I don't really catch what the lyrics are or anything. It's catchy and stuff, but
It's
I really
J-pop.
dig the art. I really dig the art style of the game. It's very cool.
Yeah, I've always thought the Persona games were super flashy, be it Persona 3, 4, or 5. Like, I think they all look good in their own right,
Yeah.
for sure. I like the battle system. I will say that Kanji's weapon of choice is hilarious. Like, when I first got him, his weapon was a steel folding chair.
Nice.
Yeah, I know, right? And then right now
Nice.
it's replaced with a desk from school, like, you know, those desks that you would
Aw.
have. So like that's what he uses. He
Man,
swings one of those.
I would have just kept the chair. That's
I,
super,
I wanted higher
super
damage,
wrestling.
but yeah, I know. I had to do a couple battles with him using the chair just to see it. It was fantastic watching him just walk up and just the Rock to Mankind, a motherfucker, just whap.
Just got JR in the back of your head. Oh my god.
He's broken in half. Somebody call the damn ambulance.
Yeah.
Oh man, well, I think that's about it. That's about all I've got, man. Actually, no, it's not. I want to touch on one more thing. So in Golden, the extra character added is Marie. I don't know too much about her yet. I've gotten my rank with her to 4, and I have not been able to raise it up yet. But she hangs out in the Velvet Room with Igor and Margaret, and she's not in the original Persona 4, which is strange to me. So it's like, so she's there, and she does your skill cards. Like, you get these skill cards, or you can like trade. If you get a skill card, you can trade it to her, and instead of being able to only use it once, like once you trade it to her, you can then buy it from her at any time.
Wow.
If that makes any sense. So instead of only having a one use, it's like you give it to her, and then you have to pay for it, but you can get as many as you want.
Gotcha.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But I've been going through her social link, and she seems cool. Like, you're trying to introduce her like to the world. She wants you to take her into your world and show her around. Like, you take her to the school. She meets Chie and Yukiko, and they all like go out together and stuff. It's pretty interesting. I'm interested to see where that goes as well, because I know that maxing her social link is linked to the extra special dungeon that they added for Persona 4 Golden. There's an extra dungeon that's not in the original,
Oh, that's cool.
and it's related to Marie. So I'm interested to see that too. And she's interesting. You remember, she is like the epitome of like a scene emo girl. So do you remember when those types of girls, or even guys back in the day,
That was me.
they would speak really quickly?
Yeah.
Okay, so she'll be like, it'll be a run-on sentence. There will be no spaces in it. It'll just be all written together, and it'll be like, "Oh my god, I hate you so much. Why are you doing this to me?"
Yeah.
And then she'll be like, "Oh my god, I love your stupid face. Why are you so dumb?" You know, like, and it's just all written together, really. It's just, Mr. Stupid Face.
That's cool. She'll probably entertain me then. Like,
Yeah,
once
yeah.
I get that far.
I really like her. But I guess that I'm gonna wrap it up there, because all I can do now is figure out where the hell this story is gonna go, so I can finish up the story and talk about
Yeah.
that. Because the gameplay, I think we touched on that last week, and like Pokemon for adults, like I said, and the story has gripped me. So like, I'm in it now.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, all right, top is popped. Let's dive into this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Now that Morowoko's dead and I don't have to deal with his bucktooth motherfucking ass anymore, I am ready. Oh, there's real quick before we end it. There's one other thing I want to tell you about. There's a camp out that you guys go on for a night, and Morooko gets drunk as fuck and is like wandering around outside the tents, like yelling at the students, just like, "You better not be being insolent in your tents. You be good kids. I think I had one too many to drink. I'm going to bed. Fuck it." So the next day, Yosuke wants to go swimming in this river, and there's no one around. No one's swimming at the river, and he's like, "Oh man!" So he's like, "Yukiko, Chie,
you want to come swimming with us? They're like, oh, we would, but we don't have bathing suits. And he just like, ta-da, pulls out 2 sets of bathing suits. And he's like, I got these from Junes.
What a fucking creeper.
Creeper, right? Yeah, exactly.
What a fucking creeper.
So, you've seen enough anime to get the nosebleed thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure before I go on with this. So, Yosuke and your character get into their bathing suits, and they're standing there. And then here come Yukiko and Chie, and they're in their bathing suits. And all the dudes are like, whoa. And, of course, I made my guy go, you look cute, Yukiko. And she was all like, with the little rosy cheeks and shit, you know, the little, I call it the little Japanese girl thing, because like that's I think of the girl from Naruto, and she's always like Naruto.
It's about being cute.
Yeah, yeah, kawaii. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Yosuke says something along the lines. I don't remember. Like he had been planning for this, and that pisses Chie off and Yukiko. So they shove y'all's asses into the river. So you land in the river, and y'all are shivering in there, and they're like, they look at Kanji and they're like, why are you being so quiet? And Kanji turns and looks at him and he's just got a nosebleed.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And they go, ew! And they shove him in the water too, right? So he's fully clothed still. So he lands in the water. And then you hear vomiting. And it's Mr. Moruoko at the top of this waterfall at the river a little bit above you guys, throwing up into the river. So Yukiko goes, oh, maybe that's why nobody was swimming here.
That's so fucking...
And Yosuke's like, I just want to
up.
go home. And the little text comes up where your character's thinking to himself, and it's like, no shower will ever wash this off of me.
That's so fucked up.
Dude, I was rolling. It was so funny. So funny. But yeah, let's we're at an hour, so let's call it there. I know you have to work in the morning, so I don't want to keep you for too terrible long.
Yeah.
I did edit it in after the fact last week, but I'm not going to forget it this week. If you want to find us on social media, you can go to facebook.com/The Steam Machine Podcast, or you can find us on Twitter at Steam_podcast. Mark a 0 on the tally. Still haven't fucked it up.
Yeah, no, you're like six in a row now.
Yeah. I'm gonna jinx it though. Watch it. One day I'm gonna really fuck it up.
Figured out though.
So, do you want to be like our buddy Santos and leave us a 5-star review that gets read on air? Do that. Find us on iTunes. Leave us that 5-star review. It'll help us out a lot. We really appreciate it. And you can find us on YouTube if that's your thing. You can go on YouTube and search for the Steam Machine Podcast, and you will be able to see our ugly mugs or pretty faces, whichever one you feel deems fit, and watch us actually talk. We do that on there for now when I remember to put it up. That's on me.
Yeah.
But I know that our buddy Mr. James Hall does listen on YouTube, as does my buddy Dustin, so I do try to keep up with it for those guys. Is there anything else that you'd like to say, my brother?
Yeah, why did Steamy take over the full Facebook account? Did you get banned again?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yes I did. I have 2 days left on my Facebook ban. I apparently, when you are talking about the band Slaughter to Prevail, if you do not preface anything other than just saying, man, fucking Russians, you will get flagged for it, and they might flag you, but they won't take away your commenting ability. But if you tell a fucking idiot that they are, in fact, a fucking idiot, that will get you banned for a week.
Gross.
It happens.
Yeah.
But, so if you guys do not see the show post for a couple of days on Facebook, that's why. Because Ryan's busy with work, and I can't do anything on Facebook other than just look at stuff. So, with that being said, we'll be back next week.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be back for sure. Hopefully, we'll both be back. But if not, then good luck, sir.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yes, and as always, I'm Dalton. He's Ryan. Take it easy, guys.